Hey Danielle, how you doing? You mentioned not being perfectly satisfied with this typeface right here, and I tend to agree. You do have the luxury of being able to use kind of a beefy typeface over here because you do got. I mean, this is a pretty meaty exclamation point, and then here the fingers. The fingers aren't really specifically tiny, so there's a few cues over here that's going to allow you to use a beefier typeface. Not quite this beefy though. This is really, really a huge face. I think it's too overpowering for some of the other elements in this illustration, specifically these vertical lines. So maybe just backing off a little bit, maybe something not quite so beefy. And boy, I don't mind the all caps. I think that the all caps kind of fit the whole vertical flow of the composition. So that's cool. It's just of the weight. And you know what? That typeface that you chose with that little kind of stroke in the middle, that doesn't be a production nightmare. I mean, those never print well. And they're never consistent. So I would go with something probably maybe a little more. Well, I'm not going to say it. I'm just keep working. You'll get it. I promise. Okay, let's talk about your work. I love this piece. I love it. Danielle, this is fabulous. You really nailed it. You really nailed it. I mean, okay, every page tells a good story. And you said that you're working on cohesion, and you can tell. And here's where I can tell that you're working on cohesion is basically the alignment. I'm going to place my cursor right here because a guide won't transfer from page to page, but my cursor will. So you see now in relationship to this, where this type is, I got the top of that crossbar right at the X height of that type. And then so if we move over here, you're almost lined up. So it seems as though you've taken that into consideration, and that is smart. That is your vertical alignment. I would also recommend taking your horizontal alignment into consideration. Specifically, this seems to be, boy, I don't know what you're going to do here, but it just seems like this is oriented a little bit different. Well, man, not so much from this, but these are really long lines set in that all cap, and that all cap, as we can clearly see, and it'll really show more when I do this. But all cap is going to tend to look like two horizontal stripes once you get at any considerable distance, meaning anything greater than an arm's length. Maybe even an arm's length. So we try to stay away from all caps as much as possible. If you agree with me, run some tests, print them out, look at them from 18 inches away, and make your decision. I'm not crazy about this typeface. I just don't think it's working. Well, you know what? I don't think it's working in relation to the rest of the cohesiveness of the piece. Because if there's definitely one thing that just doesn't go with everything else, it's going to be this typeface right here. I would rethink that. Love the piece, though. I'm so glad you used Magritte and not Salvador Dali. Nothing wrong with Dali. It's just so many students just really just latch on to Dali work and use it quite a bit, quite often. So I think that was a nice, refreshing change there. All right. This piece is fantastic. Those little tiny comments are just all really I have. This piece is a home run all day long. Gorgeous. Okay, and then writing. I think that your writing is current. So you've done you've updated this. I don't know if that was an updated typeface though, or if that's from your original submission. So check that out. I'm not real sure if that's that Hitchcock typeface. It looks like it could be, but it's hard to tell. So check that. And then your citations and your references, fantastic. Really good job. Real good job. I really appreciate what you've done here. You've worked very hard, and it certainly shows. So a couple minor changes, and you are good to go. Thanks very much, Danielle.